All right, everyone. This is a highly intriguing story. Shades of J.K. Rowling, really. You'll know her as the very far left, third wave feminist. Migrants welcome here, except at my chateau, and more welfare. Just don't dip too far into my taxes. Of course, I'm rich. A little bit of NIMBYism in there, but generally third wave feminist, far left, etc. J.K. Rowling gets dogpiled now on the daily because she believes that biological women actually have a meaning in culture and in biology. It's rather sad. The hand that feeds the cancel culture mob is then bitten by the cancel culturalists. I've explained this partially in my book, booklet, Wokeness is Wrong, in that basically what wokeness amounts to is a moral panic. Therefore, it follows the same trajectory. Over and over again, this happens with every moral panic. Salem did the same thing, of course. It wasn't until the end, when public officials of note were having their spouses labeled as witches by some of the plaintiffs in these cases, that all of a sudden the legal system stepped in and stopped it from happening. Up until then, it was all right if you wanted to hang people or burn them alive or drown them or press them to death with heavy rocks. That was perfectly fine until I think it was the governor's wife at the time was claimed to be a witch by one of the people that was supposedly under the delusions of witchcraft and possessed by it. Now it's happening with wokeness, and it's getting towards its end stage. You're seeing more rich and powerful people, many of which are far left and or explicitly woke, getting targeted by it. It's happening over and over again. Now they're coming for Billie Eilish. Yes, Billie Eilish, who is barely in her 20s, a Gen Z icon, actually pretty listenable music compared to a lot of the swill that's been on the radio over the last decade. I'd say she's definitely in the top quarter of listenability, so yeah, you've got that. Some of the music videos are cool. Billie Eilish, when she started out years ago, so she's literally just still in fucking high school and she's already making millions of dollars. Congrats, by the way. She had a penchant stylistically towards wearing rather baggy clothes, sort of a mix of androgyne and tomboy, and kind of spooky makeup, and the music videos definitely reflect, the spookier aspects of her personality. Artistically inclined, a lot of surrealism there. And like baggy, like different clothes, quirky clothes, we could say. Eccentricity writ large. Now Billie Eilish, sometimes she wants to dress in a more feminine apparel, a dress or something like that. Oh no, say some of her fans, I no longer support you. Apparently, link in the description, archived of course, apparently on one site she lost 100,000 followers after posting a picture of herself in like a nightdress. That's very, very interesting. How dare she decide to wear the fuck what she wants? Yeah, and that's what I would say. I'd say, and this applies to people like they're trans, they're gay, they're straight, they're more quirky, they're more stuffy. Who the fuck gives a shit? Wear whatever you like and that you think looks good, or you have to wear it for work, a uniform or something. Unfortunately, you can't make your own decisions in the workplace all the time. Hell, I have to dress a certain way for my work, and I'm self-employed simply because I work with all of you. I know that there's a certain type of clothing that Styx is supposed to wear, although sometimes I really want to nerd it up with a pocket protector and a fucking polo shirt and come out here and be as boring as possible. So basically like Keith Olbermann, and just to shock people. At this point, I think that would actually shock some of you. Anyway, Billie Eilish has decided that sometimes she wants to wear a dress, and dress feminine, using her terminology. There are people out there that are actually offended by this. There are people who are like, they're going to burn Billie Eilish albums, which I guess Zoomers like vinyl again, which is a step in the right direction. That's one up for you over the millennials and, the declining usefulness of file sharing and shit like that, I suppose. By the way, which Zoomers appear to be clueless about even existing. Very interesting how technology has regressed in the minds of the youth. It's like millennials will continue their empire of being the best on computing systems for some time to come until Gen Alpha or whatever comes after. The kids of the Zoomers rebel against their parents and go full retro 80s mode or something. There'd be some neon punk nights, that's for sure. I look at it this way. This is basically the same butting in on other people's business bullshit that you get with wokeness. Not necessarily leftoids, because, it's Gen Z music. Most of Gen Z is pretty left-leaning. But that element of Gen Z and of other generations, millennials famously, are constant busybodies. Like, they're constantly worried how someone dresses, how someone works it. Basically, she wandered off the plantation. She's supposed to be androgyne. She's supposed to be tomboyish because that's hip to the cultural lingo. The second that she dresses like a woman, all of a sudden she's breaking a taboo under wokeness. See, only men are supposed to wear women's clothes now. That's what's accepted. Men are supposed to wear skirts and pink tops and stuff and shave their bodies and, invert their penis and stuff like that. Billie Eilish is supposed to dress androgyne. She's supposed to be like a Zeerfolk David Bowie, I suppose, or something. And if she doesn't do that, she's not doing her job according to the stringencies of wokeness. She's out of uniform, quite literally. And in some cases, it's just fans have difficulty letting go. Bowie reference is actually apt there. When he retired from being, Starman and having the lightning bolt on his face and the orange hair and stuff, and becomes more like, the White Duke or something like that, or certainly the 80s yuppie rocker with Modern Love. When he does that, he did have people that were bothered by this. Well, I mean, he's sold out. Oh, he's changed so much. He's not the same Bowie anymore. This shit happens all the time, especially imagine that you're 15, 16, and you're already hitting the charts. It must be a whirlwind. Well, you want to be able to stretch yourself out creatively, and both obsessed fans and a bunch of wokers don't understand this. So I'm kind of, it's weird. Cancel culture is now coming for arguably one of its biggest figures as far as Gen Z goes. I mean, Billie Eilish isn't quite as much involved in explicitly pushing wokeness as oddly many of her contemporaries are. Actually would be on the lower end as far as the wokeness meter, I suppose, but clearly is. I mean, she's not Ted Nugent. she's not Ted Nugent. She's Billie Eilish, and they're gonna keep doing it. The worst thing by the way, she responded well by saying basically you're a bunch of assholes. The worst thing you can do is apologize, and there are some artists who have done that. Oh my God, I didn't realize I was gonna offend my fans or something. Oh, good on you. You sidestepped this landmine. Maybe you do the next one too, because they're coming for you again. Towards the end of a moral panic's death spiral, they do this more and more. They're coming for everyone. All the politicians, they come for them as well. Look at what they're doing with Dianne Feinstein. She used to be the maverick. She used to be the hardcore Lee that was really going to teach those fucking conservatives a lesson. Now she needs to retire. Well, you've had a good run. I mean, I agree with them because she's basically a vegetable now, but it's amazing how quickly they threw her under the bus the second that she stopped up a couple of Senate judiciary appointments. All of a sudden, she's not our gal anymore. And I just thought it was funny. I'm only talking about, again, I like some of Billie Eilish music. The story itself is really more about how wokeness is now devouring itself. Almost like an Ouroboros. Eventually it'll devour its own head and disappear. That's about all. Peace out.